back, or if you're new here, I'm Janda. Today I'm super excited to be sharing my first thrift haul with you. I have been thrifting since as long as I can remember, and over the past few weeks I have found some amazing home decor finds. I'm going to be taking you for a bit of shopping, showing you how I choose specific pieces as well as styling them in my home. I'm also going to be sharing a few pieces that I plan to use in future styling videos, as well as some items that I didn't end up buying but I thought were worth showing. Let's get into it and do some thrifting. Now, I know a lot of you can relate to this. There's something that feels a bit magical about walking through a thrift store. The thrill of finding something beautiful for just a few dollars, giving it a new life, and making it work in your space is just so satisfying. Also, decorating your home, as we all know, can get pretty expensive, so I try to mix in affordable thrifted items wherever I can. This beautiful floral plate immediately caught my eye. It's classic, elegant, and I love the unique hexagon shape. Blue and white has been a big trend in home decor lately, especially for summer. Amber Interiors has some stunning pieces in this palette right now, and I felt like this plate had a really similar vibe. This plate was actually made in England by the Johnson brothers, which is a well-known pottery company that's been around since the 1800s. A lot of their vintage pieces are considered collectible and are going for way more than the $2.99 I paid at the thrift store. For now, I've styled it on my dining room credenza as a feature piece, but there are so many other ways to use it, like hanging it on a wall, using it as a catch-all for keys or jewelry, or as a serving dish for entertaining. After years of thrifting, I can't imagine buying a brand new mug. I love collecting unique ones, and maybe it's a little quirky, but I swear the mug I use in the morning totally affects my mood and sets the tone for my day. I spotted this lovely blue striped mug, which was giving a bit of nautical, a lot of summer, and the perfect cottage feel. I instantly pictured sipping coffee from it on my front porch in the morning, and I knew it had to come home with me. I was very much happy to pay $3.99 at the thrift store, especially after a quick search showed the exact same mug made by Joshua Maxwell Studio sells for around $20 online. I also saw this set of two that was listed for $54. Like I mentioned, I love thrifting all different mugs, and I think this one makes a great addition to my mug rack and fits in perfectly with the rest of my decor style. I am always on the hunt for pretty looking bottles for everyday liquid essentials such as soap, shampoo, or kitchen oils. A lot of these come in not so pretty packaging, and since we use them often, they're usually left out on display. I swore I filmed this, but maybe I was just too excited in the thrift store and completely forgot. Anyways, I found this amber soap bottle and didn't even hesitate to bring it home. I think that these amber bottles go with pretty much any decor, and they add such a clean, sophisticated touch to any space. Doing a quick search online, I saw that these bottles sell for way more. And when I stopped in at Beauclair, which is a mid-range home decor store here in Canada, I spotted a smaller version for $19.99. I personally cannot justify spending that much on a soap bottle, so I am pretty thrilled that I found this one secondhand for $2.99. I also replaced the plastic top with a nicer black one from another dispenser that I already had on hand. I just think this looks super cute next to my sink, and I think it really pulls everything together and elevates the whole area. I also picked this guy up for $1.99 and filled it with my dish soap. This is such an easy way to cut the visual clutter while still keeping the essentials close by. Now, I know some people do shy away from thrifting textiles, but personally, I have found some great pieces and I just toss them in the wash right when I get home. I always check for things like pilling or stains to make sure the quality still feels close to new. I'm always on the lookout for good quality throw blankets, and I could not believe the condition of this white knit one. It was in amazing shape. I love it when blankets have that heavier kind of weight to them. It just feels like real quality. And this one had exactly that, and for just $5.99, it was an instant grab. A quick scan online showed similar looking blankets selling for way more than the $5.99 I paid. I'm so happy with this blanket, and I think it looks almost identical to this one from Birch Lane. There are a lot of different ways to style a throw like this. The relaxed drape over the couch is a very popular one. If you prefer something more symmetrical and want to avoid the fussiness of how it falls, you can fold it neatly and lay it across the back. For more of a statement, you can do a full drape across the entire back of the couch, which also adds visual interest from behind. The arm of the couch is another great option, plus in our case, it helps keep our cats from scratching. And lastly, I've got it styled over the lounge section of our L-shaped couch for that cozy lived-in feel. Framed art is one of my favorite thrift store hacks. There is always a huge selection and so many pieces can be easily updated or DIY'd. Sometimes when I'm thrifting decor, I don't always choose something for style alone, especially if it genuinely brings me joy. I think that it's very easy to get caught up in the trends we all love, but I do think it's just as important to have those special pieces that reflect your personality and make your space feel uniquely yours. My inner coastal self absolutely jumped at this pearl frame. The size was absolutely perfect because it fits a standard 4x6, and I already knew I wanted to use one of my black and white photos in it. I styled it on my dining room credenza and it adds just the right touch of personality. Also with the pearl detail, I think it will be perfect on our guest signing table at the wedding. You can find some really great baskets at the thrift store. I think they're great as laundry hampers, catch-alls for clutter, or even as standalone decor. I love the satchel-like shape of this basket, and the soft neutral tone works perfectly with my decor. A lot of baskets tend to lean a bit yellow, but I personally prefer a more earthy toned down look. I did find some similar baskets online which were selling for around $30, so getting this one for $7.99 felt like such a great find. Lately, I've been wanting to refresh our fireplace and was inspired by this photo from Life on Summerhill. We don't have a mantle yet, but this basket has a really similar feel, and I definitely plan to hang it just like that once we do the makeover. For now, it has its own moment in front of the fireplace, and I think it adds just the perfect earthy touch. I always thoroughly scan the glass section. There are so many little treasures like butter dishes, bowls, and other small gems. I found this mini butter dish for just $2.49, and when compared to the retail price, I knew I was saving a ton. Right now, I'm using it to hold my everyday jewelry, and I love that it has a lid so that my cat can't get into it in the middle of the night. You could also pop in a little tea light and it makes the cutest candle holder. Sometimes repurposing an item is what makes a space feel more interesting, and it's those little unexpected touches that really stand out. I am planning a guest bedroom makeover this year, so I've been gathering inspiration and keeping an eye out for key pieces. When I was in the furniture section, I almost walked past this, but thankfully I caught it on my way out. I could not believe I was looking at an actual rug that's for sale right now at Structube for $129. This was only $14.99, and I literally thought to myself, are we for real? On an important note, I did do my due diligence and gave it a full once over to check for any stains or tears. It was a little awkward walking around with it, but I didn't want to leave it and risk someone else taking it. Plus, I really know that I'm going to be using it in the guest bedroom, so stay tuned for that down the road. It really depends on the thrift store, but this one had an absolute surplus on furniture and everything was tax-free. When I saw the stool, I kind of freaked out a bit because I've actually been looking for something this height for a long time. I'm picturing it as a little stool for a chair in the guest bedroom, or maybe even one of our bathrooms to go beside a bathtub with like some towel or maybe a candle and some incense. The only thing is there wasn't actually a price tag on it, and I noticed it clearly went with the chair beside it, which was listed at $65. I decided to test my luck because sometimes depending on the person working, they'll sell items separately from the set. When I went up to the cash, I just said that there is no price tag on it, and the girl looked at it and was like, $10. I was really trying to be chill here, so I responded, sure, that works. Anyways, the style of stool is selling online for hundreds of dollars, which is insane. I'm trying to decide if I want to reupholster it, but I also like the plaid, so I don't know, you guys tell me what you think. I just cannot wait to play around with it, and I also love how it's super versatile for use. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of MacAusland, but they are a well-known wool blanket maker from Prince Edward Island. You'll see their throws in a lot of Canadian shops, and they're super popular for their quality and craftsmanship. MacAusland also uses non-chemical processes, avoiding toxic washes, making them environmentally friendly. I was so excited about this because these blankets typically range from $120 to $160 depending on the size. This one here is a queen for $59 and it's in perfect condition. This is a lot more than I usually spend at a thrift store, but I absolutely love this, and I've even considered paying full price for one in the past. And once we redo our guest bedroom, I'll probably drape it on the end of the bed or throw it on an armchair, and I think it will be absolutely perfect. I think it's really important to be intentional and kind to your wallet when thrifting. A good deal is always exciting, but it's easy to get caught up and buy things you don't really need. Multiple purchases like this can actually end up costing you more money in the end, which sort of defeats a large purpose of thrifting. Sometimes it's just as rewarding to appreciate the item in the store and leave it behind for the next lucky person. Being thoughtful with what you bring in your home makes your space and your budget feel that much better. This gorgeous wood dresser immediately caught my eye, and I've been seeing these vintage style pieces repurposed in so many creative ways in modern homes. I actually saw one styled in a kitchen nook a few days ago and it looked amazing. So I searched everywhere to find the photo again for you guys, but had no luck, so I'll link it in the description if it turns out. This dresser could have been perfect for our guest bedroom, but we don't have the space, and honestly $85 is pretty pricey for me. But still, it was such a beautiful piece, and I'll definitely be on the lookout for something similar when we start decorating. These bowls are so perfect for summer, and the scallop detail is something I've been seeing everywhere. I also think $5.99 for the set of 4 is great, but again, we're pretty good on our dishware stock, so I left it for the next person. Sometimes you can really luck out on candles and holders at the thrift store. These ones I spotted had never been used, and they looked almost identical to the ones featured in Pottery Barn's summer collection. There's also never a shortage of these hurricane glass vases. You can just stick a candle inside and recreate the whole look for a fraction of the price. Pottery Barn's versions go for quite a bit more, so putting this together secondhand is such a great budget-friendly option. Since I already have one of these that I thrifted a while back, I passed on these candles, but they are a great example of what you can find and pull together if you know what to look for. This gold-rimmed serving dish is so charming and would be perfect for entertaining. Gold accents like this are very much on trend right now, and I think they bring such a timeless yet modern elevated feel to any table setting. This bowl was priced at $7.99, and while I did spot a smaller version at HomeSense for the same price, I still felt like it was a little steep for thrift. So for now, I admired it and left it for someone else to enjoy. Alright, so that about wraps it up for the haul. I really hope this gave you some inspiration and showed you that it really is possible to find some high-end looking pieces on a budget. I always love hearing from you, so if you can relate to anything I shared today, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.